Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel for another episode of What the Plum. And this one is a flippin' doozy. So you can see, you can't see where we are, but we are actually in Starlight Shores. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this build from memory. So I built this house and it's on a 10 by 10 lot in Starlight Shores. And I uploaded it to the gallery in 2012. So I think I had a little bit of obsession with Starlight Shores and Showtime because I was doing a lot of builds there. But this is actually the first build that I'm bringing to What the Plum that was a contest build. So I entered this in a 10 by 10 contest that was over on the forums. This was back when the forums were popping. There were contests all the times in the gift and giving section of the forums, and I absolutely loved to hang out there. I loved to enter contests, and this was the build that I entered, and it is boring as hell. It is so boring. But from the pictures that I put up on the exchange, I was able to find the exact placement in Starlight Shores where I built this house. I actually put down a 10 by 10 lot where 254 Foothill Drive is in Starlight Shores. So let's go ahead and jump over to the exchange and see what magnificent description I came up with for this build. I don't even want to read this. This is pathetic. I called it Swank Pad, you guys. I have a feeling this is going to be more like Wank Pad. Anyway, what this pad lacks in size, it makes up for in amenities. With a gourmet kitchen, aquarium, and rooftop chill-out area, this 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom Little Modern is the epitome of chic. I always want to say the epitome. Is the epitome of chic, sophisticated living. Swank Pad has all upgraded appliances and has been play tested. I mean, God, that description is just... I don't know who I thought I was back in 2012, but this is ridiculous. Anyway, it looks like 852 poor unfortunate souls downloaded this, so I want to say thank you to all 852 of you. Thank you for downloading this and for the 95 recommendations. Let's jump back into game and let's tour Swank Pad. Hashtag Wank Pad. Right, so I've got my testers out here. As I said, we are in Starlight Shores. And so what the hell is this doing here? Like, why? Why? Oh my God. I was gonna say let's start from the top. But this is what happens when you place it on a 10 by 10 lot. I mean, I built it on a 10 by 10 lot, but there's 852 people out there that put this in their game and then they were met with this. Oh, that is so bad. That is so bad. But look, there's a little fireplace out there, but we've got a floating table. This is already atrocious. And what are those colors? Why? Why would you do this? This is already super duper ugly. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on a bigger lot. Just so we don't have the problem of the, I'm assuming this was a deck, and so we don't have the problem of the deck coming to the edge and then doing this when you place down a lot. So I think I might go for one higher lot, which I think is a 10 by 15, but let's go down to the next level. Look at that, that's so bad. So it looks like we've got a bit of an office area with some atrocious, oh no, this is the living area. So we've got the living area and then we've got an office area, but we've got atrocious patterns here. Like, so bad. What is this purple? Why was I into purple? So we've got the living area here, the office area here, a nice stereo. We've got some good pictures, but why did I choose this wallpaper? That wallpaper is so ugly. Oh, goodness. And I don't think that's even recolored. It's very rare nowadays that I'll place an object down and I don't recolor it. But this is like, oh, what the plum was I thinking, you guys? So let's mosey on down. So it looks like I've done some constrained floor elevations, so that would be fun to like play with. Is that floating? Oh no, it is floating. The freaking entry rug is floating. This is why you don't play with CFE, folks. This is exactly why you don't play with CFE. So this must be the entryway. Let me flip around here. So we have a floating rug in the entryway, and we have so much orange. So much orange, but we've got stairs that go down here, and then we've got stairs that come up here with a really interesting palm tree just like chilling there. And then why? Look at that pattern. Oh my god. Orange, orange everywhere. So, I mean, it wasn't even Halloween when I did this. We've got orange, red, and black. This is not sophisticated. This is not chic. This is just freaking ugly. And again, a really ugly wallpaper that I chose there. And then these tiles, which is a default pattern. So I didn't recolor those, and I hate it. I hate it so much. So you've got your kitchen, your dining area with some very interesting light fixtures. Look at this. And look, that is off-centered. Oh my god. 852 people downloaded this, and they're probably thinking, what was she thinking? However, I think the real star of this is going to be the aquarium. Move out of the way, light. Because what I would have done is I would have used fog emitters. Let's just press play for a second. Look at that. That's awesome. So I would have used fog emitters, and I learned to use fog emitters and to make your own homemade aquariums from a simmer called Sim Eve. She's no longer active in the community, but she used to have the best tutorials, and she used to make beautiful houses. So I'm definitely going to keep this feature and keep that incorporated somehow, because this is probably the best part of the build. But we've still got another level to go down. I still can't believe that this rug is freaking floating. This is, oh, I'm so embarrassed. So again, we go down another level, and then we have this area here where we enter into the basement bedrooms. And for some reason, I thought it would be cool to put a gumball machine. And we've got lots of paintings. So there's a purple phone. Why? Why did I do this? It seems like the theme was like orange, pink, red, and black and purple, like bright colors. What is this bathroom? And why is it so high? This is like on the upper part of the wall, but there's like 3 different things going on in the bathroom. This is such bad wallpapering job. I mean, this is when creative style just goes wrong, but hey, that's nice. I put a little TV so you can watch TV while you're taking a bath. I don't know if that's possible in The Sims 3. Oh my freaking eyes. This is not chic. This is not sophisticated. This is just wank. This is so ugly. So incredibly ugly. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. Neon green or teal sheets. I honestly don't know what to say. Honestly, no words. So that's the big bedroom, and then we've got a smaller bedroom here, again with more paintings. I feel like I went overkill on the paintings, and I feel like there's no rhyme or reason to this place. And this is another default swatch. That's default. That's default. I'm hating this so much. I'm pretty sure that is default as well, and so is there. And so is that. Like, this is bad. This is really bad. And the fact as well that I entered this in a contest. No wonder I didn't freaking win. This is so ugly. What was I thinking? What the plum? Oh, mate. This is just bad. I don't even know how I'm going to begin to fix this. Like I said, I think the first step... Oh, look, we've got clipping. We love clipping. The first step is going to be putting it on a bigger lot. We're going to work with that first. And then we're going to have to try to do something with all this constrained floor elevation that I did. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep it all, especially when we've got floating rugs. But I forgot the best for last. So we've got this outside area. We've got an easel, which doesn't even look like it's usable. Well, you can't even get up the stairs at the moment because of the deck. But if we go up here, we've got a fire pit, this really hideous patterned sectional. We've got a bar, and then we've got a hot tub up here. I feel like this is something you would see in Sims 2. This reminds me of where the Calientes and Don Lothario live. Maybe it's just the outside boring color and the fact that there's a hot tub up there. Look, they want to get away from this place. Something that I noticed when I was down here, look at that right there. The hot tub bottom is poking through the ceiling. This is so awful. I'm so flipping embarrassed. Like, this is peak what the Plum was I thinking. And I think we had just gotten the Bauhaus set, so that's where all of these windows are from. They're from the Sims Restore, so I think that's why I use them, but they don't even make any sense. This kind of looks like a jail. Like, it's just ugly. So I'm hoping that I can make it make sense and make it a lot better, because it needs a lot of work. I don't know why this aspen tree is here. Maybe it's a birch tree. I think it's an aspen tree, but I don't know why it is here because it doesn't even fit with the surroundings. So what I'm gonna do, like I said, I'm gonna try to make this make sense, make it 10 times better, and make myself proud, because I'm not proud looking at this. I'm embarrassed that I entered this into a contest. I'm embarrassed that 852 people downloaded this. I'm embarrassed that I got 95 recommendations. So let's show this Swank Pad. That is an awful name. Let's show this Swank Pad some Plum love, and let's get started. I have so many things running through my head. I just watched the previous segment back and I am still so embarrassed that I put this build out to the public. And the next thing that I want to say is pause and stop what you're doing. Strap in, snuggle up, cuddle down, grab some snacks, get your popcorn, get your tea, get your coffee, get a beer if you like, because this is going to be a doozy of a build. And it's kind of like a rebuild, but hey, at least I was able to place the stairs. I don't know if you guys remember, but on the community tab, I had a little bit of a rant about stair placement. That was about this house. I don't know how many times I rage quit while building this. I had to have rebuilt this several times because it was just so frustrating. And you guys can see that I am working with CFE. That was very frustrating as well. This whole build was very frustrating because what I wanted to do is get rid of the middle level that was just like a constrained floor level, because I didn't think it needed to be there. And now I'm putting the entire build on foundation, because in the original build in Swank Pad, hashtag Wank Pad, there were just way too many stairs, so I wanted to eliminate them. And then you can also see that we are not on a 10 by 15 lot. We are in fact on a 20 by 15 lot. And the reason that I did that is because when I placed the build on a 15 by 10 lot, I was still having the issue with the decking going sky high. So I went up another level to a 20 by 15, and I was able to do some really cool cantilevered roofs, which is what I wanted to do because the build before, like I said, was just so boring. It was just flat and it just didn't look interesting at all. And nowadays I always try to add interest to my builds. So I'm working on the roof right now, doing a little cantilevered piece, and I really like how it turned out. It took me several tries to get to the final product, and we're gonna go through a little bit of it. I did cut some of it out just to like save your guys' sanity, because like I said, I was going crazy. But this platform piece, that goes away because it's really, really ugly. But I do end up using the like skylights on the actual roof piece. So I've got like a little skylight moment on the platforms at the minute, and I transfer them over to the flat roofs. And I'm really sorry about a lot of the spinning. There is going to be a lot of spinning when I'm getting everything placed at first, because I wanted to see how it looked from the front. So like I said in the original clip, this was placed in, where was it placed? Starlight Shores. It was placed in Starlight Shores. And with the way that I've rebuilt it, and yes, I'm calling this kind of a rebuild, this is probably the most like cheaty What the Plum I've ever done. The first one was pretty cheaty, but this one is like a super cheat because I've placed it on a bigger lot. But I think that with the final product of this build, it would be better placed in Bridgeport. So some of the screenshots at the end of this build are in Bridgeport, and I just wanted to show you guys how the light changes. So I've placed it on the lot in Bridgeport that has the cabin. I think that's what the house is called. I think it's called the cabin. And it's just under the bridge, so you can see all of the bright lights of the city behind the house, and it looks really, really good. So I would definitely recommend, if you do download this new house, this new Stonefield, that's what I've called it because it's so much better than Swank Pad. If you do download it, that's where I recommend you place it because it just looks brilliant, and there are no issues with the cantilevers going sky high, so everything seems to work. I did play test this minorly. I didn't go in depth. I didn't upgrade everything, so you will have to deal with breaking toilets and things like that, but it does work. It looks great. I'm really happy with it. Now, I wanted to tell you guys a story, and I'm honestly so embarrassed to tell this story, like almost as embarrassed as I can't even talk about it without laughing. Right, let's see if I can get through this. Compose yourself. Be zen. So this build was put on the exchange back in 2012. You guys all remember that, right? So in 2012, I had been out of university I'd been out of university for 4 years. Now, I don't know if I've ever talked about this on my channel, but I really wanted to go to university for architecture and interior design. And I figured out quite quickly that I didn't have the math skills to major in architecture, but interior design was always like a major dream of mine. You guys, I can't even get this out. It was a major dream of mine. But like I said, this original Swank Pad was put on the exchange 4 years after I had graduated from university. And I uploaded it with that color scheme. Like, could you imagine if I had actually gotten on an interior design course? They would have been like, ma'am, you need to quit now because you're absolutely shit. You have no concept of color theory. You have no idea what looks good. And you know, I'd be like, fair dues. I deserve to get kicked off this course. But you guys, I wanted to be an interior designer, and I'm out here designing houses that look like that shit. Like, oh, it's so mind-boggling, and I just can't deal. I mean, Swank Pad in its original form was really, really bad, and I made some bad choices. And like, I was never ever going to live out my dream of being an interior designer if this is the type of shit that I was putting out on the exchange. But at least I realize that now. Do you know what I mean? At least I realize that. But you guys can let me know once we get to the interior if you think I have what it takes now to do interior design. Please somebody validate me in the comments. I need some validation. Please tell me that I'm good. Because we all know that Swank Pad was so very wrong. So the exterior is finished and I'm working on the backyard. This changes quite a bit. I'm gonna go overboard with those trees from Into the Future. For some reason I've been using them in all of my builds and I just think they look brilliant. I absolutely love these trees, and I just use way too many of them. Luckily I walked away, got a fresh perspective. That's what I think you need sometimes when you're doing a build. Get some fresh perspective and then come back to it. So I do end up deleting a lot of the trees that are in the backyard, but this is just a really like cozy backyard moment. There's a pool, as you can see. There's a sitting area, and I do go ahead and put an easel outside down on the bottom level. On this top deck, there's not much that goes into the top deck, just these lounge chairs and then an end table. And that's why I said this house would be better suited to Bridgeport, because then you can, there's a really good view of the water. So what I'm doing here now is I'm actually creating a fireplace, an outdoor fireplace with fog emitters. Now the only thing with this is that it will constantly be burning, and I've got a screenshot at the end so you guys can check that out, but it's been a while since I've actually built an outdoor fireplace, or you can use these for indoor fireplaces as well, but I think it's just a really cool effect. Like, fog emitters are so awesome, but figuring out the codes for fog emitters is a pain in the ass. Like, there are YouTube videos on it, there's also documents on it, but finding the right fog emitter takes ages. So here I am chopping and changing my mind again. Are we surprised? Not at all. And I'm gonna continue these little tree shrubs, but I do get rid of some of them. I get rid of the ones that are near the windows because it was just way too much. And I struggled back here. For as small as this space is, I really struggled. And I thought it'd be a good idea to put a hot tub out there, but then like the patio area got really small and I just wasn't having it. So we do end up getting rid of the hot tub and we just go with the pool. We've got the seating area, we've got a little barbecue. I decided to use those cute little flamencos because why the heck not? I think it's a great addition to a pool party. And then I also used this waterfall. I can't remember which pack the waterfall came from, but it looks really good. And you could have small little parties out here. I think it would be a nice little hangout space because I feel like with the interior of Stonefield, what a swanky name that is. I feel like it is sophisticated, it is chic, but you guys weigh in down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys think because I could be totally wrong. I mean, I could just be way off with what I think looks good, but I'm sure you guys will be quite honest with me down below in the comments, but please validate me. Please tell me that I'm good. I was actually really scared to share this build with you guys because of how much it had changed. So love me more. But I think this is it and it's fine. Oh no, I'm gonna put some more shrubs. I'm gonna put some more shrubs because you can never have too many shrubs. Yes, you can. Look at that. It just looks like a national forest back there. Hey, boo-boo. It just looks so bad. So I'm glad that I changed it up a little bit, and I'm glad with how the outdoor space turns out in the end. It took a while, but I wanted to keep all this footage in there. I know I don't normally show backyards, and I'm not sure if I even showed the recoloring of this, but I just thought that, you know, it made sense from going from not having a backyard in the original Swank Pad to actually adding one in. I thought it was important to, you know, show that off a little bit. So here we are on the interior, and I am actually going to end up changing the windows that I've put in for the fish tank. Because I couldn't remember what I had used originally, and I end up changing them back to sort of the original windows because it hides the middle part of the fish tank, which is where I've got fog emitters sort of raised up. So I wanted to hide that part of the fish tank, and it made sense. So I'm gonna struggle with the kitchen. Are we surprised? You shouldn't be because it's me. But I wanted to keep it really minimal in the kitchen, and that's what I ended up doing. But we're gonna go through several different layouts, and I even thought about changing the front door, but don't worry, it changes back to what it originally was. Because I wanted to put the sink in the middle, but it just wasn't working. And then I wanted to get rid of a counter, and I had so many ideas like running through my head while I was trying to lay this out, and I was just like, this is stupid. This doesn't even look good. So we are gonna get rid of that little counter area, and I'm actually gonna put in some island seating, and it looks a lot better. So I'll talk about it when we get to it, but I did end up changing the layout. So on this level, we have got a kitchen, sort of a sitting area in the dining room, and that is it. And then well, I'll talk about it. I already said I'd talk about it when we get there. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So I kept it very I didn't clutter up the place as much as I usually would because I just didn't think this build called for it. And I did use a lot of dark colors and a lot of stone. There is of course some exposed brickwork, but what do we expect? I love exposed brickwork, and like honestly, I would love to live in a place like this. Like, I think this is the definition of sophisticated and chic and style. That's what I think about this build. But let me know. And I'll tell you one thing for damn sure. There's not going to be any curtains or some window coverings that are off-centered. Everything's going to be centered. Everything has its place. Everything looks so much better than it originally did. And I'm so proud to be sharing this version of it, even though it's completely different from the original version. I'm so proud to be putting this out. And I wonder if I were to put this up on the exchange, how many people would actually download it. Probably not that many because the exchange isn't as hoppin' and poppin' as it used to be. I would be curious to know if people would like to have this in their game because, like I said, I really just love how it turned out. And I like the fact of what I did with this open concept. I'm a massive fan of open concept living. I don't like doors. I was gonna say I don't like doors and windows everywhere, but I don't like doors everywhere. I like everything to be open so you can like see from the kitchen to the dining room, which is where we are at the moment, to the like sitting area or living room, and just so you could like talk to your guests and have parties. And I don't know, that's my idea of like an ideal layout. So that's the dining room. There's spaces for 4 Sims to just sort of hang out and chill. And then I'm going to put in a fireplace because it's just very cozy and comfortable. But I had trouble picking a fireplace. But what do we expect? It's me. I have trouble doing anything in The Sims. Like, I don't know. My brain just gets completely boggled when it comes to making decisions. But I think that's like me being a Libra. I can't make decisions easily, and I have to change my mind several times before I get it right. But I think nowadays I get it a lot more right than I did 8 years ago. Because, I mean, the Swank Pad could never. So I'm using these chairs from Diesel Stuff, and that is one of my favorite stuff packs. I don't know if I've said that. I'm pretty sure I've told you guys that before. But that, along with 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff pack, they're my favorites. So if you don't have them, do yourselves a favor, folks, and go out and get them because they are amazing. I just love those chairs and they look so comfy and they look so cozy. And I think it's the case with like all Sims games, but I think as time goes on and more packs are released, the items in the packs get so much better and more detailed. And I really wish they would start with that from the beginning. Like, let's start on a high point. Let's not start low and then raise expectations. Let's keep expectations high throughout the entirety of the lifespan of a franchise. Do you know what I mean? Does that even make sense? Probably doesn't make sense because I'm rambling, but it's completely fine because the downstairs is almost complete. And then I believe we're going to mosey on upstairs, which is probably where the biggest change has come in. Well, the upstairs and the basement. So I decided to bring the bedrooms upstairs. So we've got 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and an office area upstairs. And it made more sense for the bedrooms to be on this level because you've got light and you can like see out windows. I mean, if you're a vampire, it makes sense to be down in the basement, but I didn't have vampires in mind when I built this house, so I decided to bring the bedrooms upstairs. And then I kept the office area because I don't know if you remember, but in the original Swank Pad, there was a chess table, and then there was also a computer area with a bookshelf. So I wanted to keep that upstairs. And then obviously downstairs, we've got sort of the living room entertainment space, which is where we will be heading next. Now, I wanted to do 2 desks at first and then a little seating area, but then I came to my senses because this doesn't look good. It looks really crammed to me, and like my spatial awareness was off when I was first doing this. I was like, yeah, let's cram as much shit in here as we possibly can. And there I am trying to use that 3 tile sofa from Diesel. That didn't make sense either. So I was going to use this sofa, try to place another one, but still it was so crammed. Like, I love cozy spaces and I like being all snuggly and things like that, but this, like looking at this, watching it back, that kind of makes me feel a little bit claustrophobic and I'm not here for it. So I am going to change that, but after I do the first bedroom, I have like a little aha moment where I'm like, this looks pretty damn stupid. And so I go and change it. So I'm very proud that, sometimes I'm interrupting myself. Sometimes it makes sense to walk away, come back, revisit, look with a fresh pair of eyes, and you can see things differently. So that's what I always try to do. And that's probably why I am the slowest builder, decorator, renovator ever, because my mind changes all the time, and then I just have to walk away from things But another like downfall of that is that I have to finish a project before I start on another. So it's very rare that I've got like 2 houses on the go. I can have more than like 1 Sims video on the go that I'm editing or filming, but houses, for some reason, I've got to finish the houses. I've absolutely got to finish the houses, or else it just, I don't know, then I'm thinking about the other house that I should be working on, if that makes any sense. But I placed a chess table. So there was my aha moment. Stop being such a dolt and stop trying to squeeze in sofas and armchairs when you can have a chess table. So this is the smaller of the 2 bedroom. I did play test this room because it is quite small. I know that Sims can get in on the side where the dresser is. I didn't test the other side because I don't think Sims would be able to get there, so I would recommend that you don't have a couple staying in this room, more of a single Sim type thing. So I feel like this could be for like a couple of Sims and maybe their teenage child. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but you guys catch my drift. You guys are picking up what I'm putting down, aren't ya? Anywho, another thing that I wanted to say is that with What the Plum, I really want to, if I will have the original link to the exchange, if anybody would like to download it and then renovate it, be my guest. I would love to see what you could do. And if you can keep it on a 10 by 10 lot and make it look good, even bigger, be my guest. I would love to see it. So what I want to do in these series is pop a screenshot up of the previous What the Plum. So if you renovate my house and I like it, I'll pop a screenshot up on the next What the Plum. So the last What the Plum that we did was Quaint Cottage, and I'm gonna pop up my favorite screenshot of a renovation that was sent to me that somebody did, and I just love it. I think it looks really cool and it's very close to the original, and that's what I love. That's what I love about this series, is that people are going to interpret things quite differently and they're going to change things differently. So I would love to see what you guys could do with the original form of Swank Pad and make it so it's not Wank Pad. Because, I mean, there is a lot of potential, but for me, it just needed to be, I should have bulldozed the damn thing. I should have bulldozed it, but that's not in the spirit of this, this series. Like, I already feel like I cheated quite a bit with this particular read. I feel like I went quite cheaty on it, but I feel like it was definitely needed for what I wanted to do with this build, for me to make it more modern, to make it actually be sophisticated and chic. This is what I had in mind. Couldn't get it out of my mind. So I wasn't about to renovate the flat looking, boring looking, modern house that was Swank Pad. I just needed to change it up because my style's changed. That's another thing about this series, is that my style has completely changed. I wouldn't build Swank Pad today. I wouldn't put something like that out there because to me it's just awful. And that's my opinion. It's just horrible. And I still can't believe that I wanted to be an interior designer and I'm putting shit like that out there to the public. Like, what if one of my professors, if I had actually gotten on the course, what if they had seen that and they were like, ma'am, you can exit stage left? And I would have been like, fair play. Fair play, I'm going because I don't deserve to be here. So yeah, I feel like this is something that, well, obviously this is something that I would do now with the Stonefield because I have done it. But yeah, I wouldn't do Swank Pad today. I wouldn't have built that on a 10 by 10 lot. I do have another build that I believe is on a 10 by 10 lot. So I'm going to try to keep that one on a 10 by 10 lot, as long as I didn't try to get all clever with constrained floor elevation. And that was another thing with my really old builds, and this one in particular. I watched all the tutorials. I tried to get fancy with everything that I did. I wanted to use all the advanced like building tricks that I could find, and so that's what I did. And I probably I did completely screw it up, as you guys saw with what happened in the original deck. Like, I obviously wasn't doing something right. I obviously didn't understand how constrained floor elevation worked completely, because I feel like in every build that we've done so far, well, the other 2 builds that we've done on What the Plum, they've just been shit. and they've all had constrained floor elevation involved in them, and they've just been awful. So I've had to go back and fix my past mistakes, but I'm happy to say that I feel like I have fixed them. So the color scheme for Stonefield is dark. So like I said, we've got exposed brickwork, we've got concrete, we've got stone, and then we've got really dark furniture colors. So we've got that sort of dark teal, a really dark green, some orange. Of course, we've got some yellow because it is my favorite color. But these colors remain throughout, and I really like them. I don't usually deal in this dark of colors for furniture, but I feel like because Swank Pad was so bright and in your face and just like, whoa, like I had to go the complete opposite and show that it could look good. I actually might try to build a house with neon colors and see if it can look good, or maybe like really bright colors and see if like it can look good, because right now I can't picture a neon house, like an interior that looks good. I know a lot of people play with like berry saves and things like that, but I've never been into it. So that might be a challenge for me to try out one day. That could be quite interesting. But I tried to put some wood on the walls. It wasn't working. So I went back to my old faithful, my concrete walls, and I just love them. And then I pulled the stone from the exterior out and pulled that in here and made this upstairs area a bright teal, not a bright teal, like a muted teal, like the teal from downstairs. And I just really love these spaces. Like, I'm really happy with how the decor came out in this and how the recoloring came out in this. And speaking of that, I popped into QEC's stream last night at about 1 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. And she's so lovely. She's like one of my favorite people in the community. We originally met through The Sims, and she's since moved on, but now she's back doing Sims videos on her channel QEC. I'll drop a link down below. Go and check out her builds and her renovations, because she's always been one of my favorite builders in the Sims 3. But anyway, I popped into her stream yesterday, and she was saying how much she like loves what I do with Create Style. And I feel like I do a lot of samey stuff with Create Style, and I try to like think of new things, but it doesn't always happen. But it just made my heart happy. I was just so happy. So like, I feel like I've got validation from QEC. So can the rest of y'all validate me? What do you think of this house? What do you think of the interiors? What do you think of the colors? I want to know what you think down below in the comments. And so we recolored the entirety of the office area out beyond the bedrooms, and now we are in bedroom number 2, I'd call it, because it's a smaller one. And we've got this orange bedspread. Usually I try to put patterns on, but I tried to stay away from patterns. The only really pattern thing is the feature wall, which is the polka dots, which I'm all right with that. But there were just so many patterns in the last house, or in the original house, that I was just like, let's tone down the patterns. Let's not do that again. Let's not make the same mistakes from 8 years ago. I just wasn't having it. So I really like how this came out. Because usually I tend to stay away from like solid wall colors, even though I know that's super duper realistic, but I try to stay away from it because I don't know, I think it scares me or something. But anyway, we are going to pop down to the basement, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. But before I go, who is still with me? Who is still here? Who's ready for the screenshots? If you are still here, if you're still listening to me ramble, let me know down below in the comments by saying it is boot season, baby. I mean, I know we went from like a phrase before to a full-on sentence, but it's boot season, baby. Let me know down below in the comments, because I want to hear from you. I want to know if you are still here. And if you are still here, thank you. I appreciate you guys so very much. And yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to do all those cool interweb things, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you've got that bell ding dong so you're notified whenever I do upload. But for now, I'm gonna skedaddle. Don't be a plum stranger now, guys. Bye!